Hi, I'm Estelle. Thanks so much for joining me on your mat today. Today's class is dedicated to a student of mine who was interested in doing more to come to the pose crow. So, Amelia, this is for you. Today is the day. To build towards crow, we'll do a lot of hip flexion and core strength building because those are things that you need to get into crow. But there will also be lots of modifications for whatever level you're at and whatever your capacity is to practice today. You will not have to do the pose at the end. You can look at this as building strength to build up to crow pose another day. Or you can take the plunge and give it a try today. Don't worry, nothing is ever perfect on the first try. I would say nothing is ever perfect ever. It's an ongoing practice. So just listen to where you are today. Try not to have any judgments about that and see what happens. I would also ask that for today's practice, we think about the voice in our head that tells us that we can or cannot do something. So if you are afraid of doing a balance or lifting your leg, maybe take the challenge today, overcome that, and tell yourself that you can tell a different narrative about who you are. You don't have to be afraid to do that. You can give it a try. You can lift your leg. On the other hand, if you're the student who always does what the additional options are for poses and you feel like you always have to try a more advanced version, listen to your body today and see if it's really in the space to do that. So today we're going to be thinking about, while we practice, just that voice in our head that tells us who we think we have to be and trying to think about who we really want to be instead. We'll start today in child's pose. So come onto your mat, onto your knees with your knees mats distanced apart, your toes together. And just stretch your hands out long. Bring your forehead to the floor. And let's take a cleansing breath here together. So breathe in, fill your low belly, your mid belly, your chest, all the way up to your collarbones. And then let it go through your mouth. We'll just take some breaths here in child's pose. Start becoming aware of your breath, trying to make the inhales match the exhales. Feeling the ground, the earth supporting you. Take one more breath here. And we'll press up into tabletop, coming in to do some 3 rounds of cat and cow. Shoulders right over wrists, knees right underneath your hips. Breathe in, arch your back, crown reaching towards the ceiling. And breathe out to round your spine, tuck your stomach muscles in. Notice what your body is feeling today. Last round. In and exhale. Come into a tabletop again, and we're going to take a spinal balance. So bring your right hand forward and your left foot back. Try to keep your hips even and parallel to the floor. Arm reaching out, bicep right next to your ear. And then bend your left leg, reach around with your right hand, and if you can, take a hold of the right foot. You can stay here, just working on balance and core strength, or you can press that foot into the hand, open up the chest, and take a little bit of a spinal balance, looking back perhaps towards those left toes. On an inhale, come back to spinal balance. And then exhale, come back down. And we'll take that on the other side. So kick your right foot back, your left foot forward. Feel as though you're standing in Uttanasana here. The foot active, reaching back towards the wall. The arm strong, reaching forward, bicep by your ear. The hips parallel, level to the floor. And then reach around, see if you can find the toes. You can stay here, or you can kick your foot back, open up the chest, look back towards those toes. Use this to open the chest, not to arch the back. The back will arch, but that's not what we're aiming for here. Inhale back to spinal balance, and exhale back to tabletop. From here, we'll go into our first downward facing dog. Push into the hands, lift your hips, press back. Think about what you need today. Feel what your body would like to do in this first downward dog of the day. You can pedal out the legs. You can move forward and back a bit. See what feels good. Take one deep breath here. And out through your nose. On your inhale, slide forward into plank. Cross the right leg over the left. And we're just going to do 3 rounds of shifting back and shifting over our wrists. Back and over our wrists. Shifting back, coming over our wrists. Come back into plank and we'll take that on the other side. Left foot crossing over the right ankle. Shift back. Feel the weight coming directly over your wrists. Again, shoulders right over the wrists. And one last time back. And then come forward. Then come back into plank. And we'll take a vinyasa here. So you can lower halfway down. You can bring the knees down. Chaturanga. Bring the body to the floor. Have the chest lift up into cobra. Elbows by the ribs. And exhale back into downward facing dog. Take a breath here. See if this feels different from your first downward dog of the day. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up. Open the hip, bend the knee. Keep the shoulders in one line. Inhale that leg up. And exhale, bring the right knee to the right elbow. Inhale that leg back up. Right knee to the right wrist. And one more time. Right leg up. And then bring this across the body, right knee, left elbow. And up into downward facing dog. And take a breath here. This is working our core strength and our arm strength to prepare us for crow. On your next inhale, take your left leg up. And open up the knee, open up the hips, keep the shoulders in line. Bring your hips back level. And exhale your knee to your left elbow. Inhale back up to 3-legged dog. Left knee to the left wrist. Inhale back up. And last time, left knee, right elbow. Come back up. And we'll come down into downward facing dog. One more breath here. You can feel the arms really working. Look forward, bend the knees, step, float, or walk your your feet to your hands. Bend your knees and come down into ragdoll. Our first standing forward fold. You can swing gently side to side, straighten one leg or the other. You can just gently bob a little here. Make sure your neck is totally relaxed. You can hold opposite hands to opposite elbows. One more exhale here. On an inhale, rise up and come into Uttanasana. From here, take an inhale. One more exhale to the right, coming into side moon. This is not about how far over you get. This is just about feeling the stretch in that left side. Inhale your way up to center. And exhale, side moon to the left. Feeling the stretch along your body, wherever that is today, however far over you become. Just looking for a long stretch. And inhale back up to center. And exhale, cactus the arms, lift the heart forward. Inhale back up to center. And we'll come back into a forward fold, hinging at the hips. This time leaving the legs coming towards straight. They can be as bent as they need to be, but towards straight if you can. Feeling what that feels like today in this body at this moment. Inhale, long spine into monkey pose. So you can put your hands on your thighs, on your shins, on the floor, wherever they need to be for your spine to be long. And exhale back down to Uttanasana. Bring your toes together. Leave a little bit of space between your heels. Bend the knees, sink the hips low. Reach the arms forward, and we'll come up into chair pose. So you should be able to look down over your knees, see your toes peeking up at the edge. Your knees should be right over your ankles. With the weight back in your heels, you should be able to lift those toes up. Inhale here. And then exhale, sweep those arms behind you. Feel your triceps working hard. And see what it feels like to lift the heels up in the airplane chair. See if that's something you can play with today. Bring the heels back down. Rise up into Uttanasana. And then we are going to take the left leg, cross it over the right. And if that's where you want to stay, that's fine. Take your hands to your heart. Bend the right leg if you can. And now you can stay here. You can leave the left toes on the ground like a kickstand. Or if you want something more challenging, you can wrap that leg around. Wrap the right ankle with the left foot. And then bring the left arm under the right. You can hold here, holding your shoulder, or you can wrap the wrists around. See if you can press your palms together and sink down into your eagle pose here. You can play around with the arms. Try lifting them up and out. See what that feels like on your back. And then bring them down and in. See where that goes on your back. And then on your next inhale, unwind. Don't put your left leg down if you can. And we're going to come back into airplane. So reach that left leg out long behind you. Hinge at the right hip. Keep your hips level. Reach your left leg back long, as though you're standing on the wall behind you, your head reaching for the other wall. In front of you, nice and long. You can also come down into airplane lunge here. That's totally fine. Keep that 45-degree angle. Left foot down. If you're in airplane or airplane lunge, we're going to lower that foot down, step back, and come into prayer squat. Wide legs, hands at heart. Knees should be directly over your ankles. And inhale here. And exhale. Move the weight into your right leg. Come low on that foot. Lift the heel and come onto the toes. Stretch the left leg long. If you want to play with your balance, you can lift the toes of the left leg. And now you can put your hands on the ground for balance. This is a challenging position. Or if you want to test your balance, if you want to challenge that voice in your head today that says, maybe you can't do this, you can go ahead and lift your hands up off the ground. On your next inhale, bring the hands back to the ground. Shift your weight, coming onto your back leg and coming into a low lunge. And then we're going to step that right leg back on top of the left leg, coming into side plank. So if you want to stay here, you can. You can bring the left knee to the ground. It's always an option. Or if you want to work on some core strength, we're going to lower the hips and raise them back up. And lower the hips and lift them back up. 3 more times. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Last time. Lower, feel your obliques working, and lift. And come back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. And exhale. We'll take this strength building sequence on the other side. So on your next inhale, look forward. Step, walk, or float to the front of your mat. Bring your head towards the floor. Inhale your way up. Tadasana. Take a side moon to the right on an exhale. Inhale through center. And side moon to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, cactus the arms. And inhale through center. Moving your toes towards your other toes, heels apart. We're going to come back into chair. And again, if you haven't done it on the other side, you could try it on this side. Bring your hands back, arms alongside your ribs, squeezing the triceps together and lifting the heels up off the ground, if that's accessible to you today. Airplane chair. And then we'll come back into Tadasana. And we'll take eagle on the other side. So stand on your left leg, cross your right leg over. You can keep the toes down on the floor as a kickstand. Bend that leg if you want to try it. Wrap the right foot around the left ankle. And then wrap your right arm underneath your left. See if you can twist the arms around. Otherwise, you can keep them at your heart center. Press the palms together and sink low in the hips. So you can try lifting the arms and pressing them out. Feel where that goes into on your back. Squeezing them low and bringing them in. Feel what brings that on your back. And on your next inhale, release. Try not to set that foot down. Make it move back and lift it up into airplane on the other side. So you want your hips to be level here. That right leg is working hard, reaching back toward the back of the mat, head reaching forward. Again, you can always take a lunge here. Inhale. And on an exhale, step back wide, come into a prayer squat. Take a breath here. And moving to the left side, bring the weight into your left foot. Reach those right toes up if you can. You can also leave the foot on the ground. You can have the hands on the ground for balance, or you can lift them up and balance on your left toes. Feeling that stretch in the left hamstring, feeling balance to the crown of your head all the way down to the base of your toes. And coming forward, rotate around that hip to a low lunge. And then step that left leg back on top of your right. Coming into side plank on the right. And then you can stay here. You can take the right knee to the floor. Practice balancing there. Or we'll take 5 hip dips. Lowering down, lifting back up. Lowering down, lifting back up. This is really good for your obliques. Lowering down and lifting back up. 2 more. Lower down and lift. Lower down and lift. And come forward into a plank and press back into a child's pose. And take 3 breaths here. Feeling your hips nice and warm, your arms nice and warm, your core nice and relaxed after all of that work we just did. And when you're ready, press up and come to a stand at the top of your mat. Okay, we're going to move towards crow. There are a lot of options you can take here. First, we're going to do a few stretches just to get comfortable for that. So come into Mulana, Garland pose. Feet out at a 45-degree angle. Hands up above, and then bring them down to your heart as you lower all the way down. So you can play with where your feet need to be for you to be comfortable. They should be at an angle out to the side, your knees pressing wide, your elbows pressing your knees back, your palms facing each other. Feel the energy running all the way through your body like a garland. Bring your left hand to the ground here. If you need a modification for this pose, you can put a couple blocks under your seat. You can put a bolster under your seat or a pillow if you have really tight hips, if this compression is too much. Make sure you just find a comfortable pose. Left hand to the ground. Reach your right hand up. A little bit of a twist. And then drop your right hand behind your right back. Reach around and see if you can tap your left hip, a half bind. And then if you feel like you need a full bind, lift your left foot off, wrap it around your left knee, find the hands and clasp them. You can also do this using a strap, or if you can't quite reach your hands, you can hold on to your shirt. On your next inhale, right hand back up, and bring it to the floor. And we'll do that on the other side. Right hand on the floor, lift your left hand up, reach it around behind you, take a little bit of a spinal twist. If you want to take the full bind, wrap your right hand around your right leg and interlace your fingers, hook them, keep your spine nice and long. Feel that compression in your hip. And then on an inhale, reach up and come back to center. So now that our hips are nice and loose, our arms are nice and strong, we're going to come in to crow. So bring your feet together as though you're going to take chair, toes together, a little bit of space at the heels. And again, there'll be lots of modifications, so just think about what your body is feeling right now. Think about what you need today. Don't feel any pressure from that voice in your head that says that you have to look like the teacher or you have to try the most challenging thing. If that's not where your body is today, listen to your body. If that voice is always telling you that you have to take it easy and maybe you can't do those poses, then maybe challenge that voice and see what you can do today. Overall, whatever you do, listen to your body. It will tell you if it's comfortable or not. Never do anything that your body is telling you doesn't feel right. There are always modifications you can take, always ways we can make you comfortable in a pose. So bring your toes together, heels apart. Hinge forward, come down into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Place your hands on the floor. shoulder width apart. If you need to bend your knees to do this, that's totally fine. Come onto your tippy toes, if you can. And then bend your knees, placing them in your armpits as much as you can, as high as you can get in on your arms. Then just practice leaning forward, putting the hands, grounding the hands into the floor and coming back. Bringing your elbows right over your wrists, the same way we did at the beginning of class. Just see what that weight feels like. Bringing it over your wrists. That's what you're going to want to feel in crow. When you feel ready, you can keep doing that the whole time. That's totally fine. That will help build the arm strength and also some of the core strength that you'll need when you do come up into crow. If you want to take crow today, come back into that same position, knees into the armpits. Look a ridiculous amount of the way forward. Bring the shoulders over the wrists. You can try lifting one foot and then the other. And then maybe try lifting both feet. Feel your core working. Really look forward. Find a spot on the ground that you can focus on, a drishti. To me, this pose is fun because it takes strength, but a lot of it is just about stacking the lines of gravity. Just stacking where you need to align all of your weight, and then you stay there. And when you're ready, you come down. If you ever need to take a break, you can come into a child's pose. And when you're ready today, we'll meet back in child's pose. Coming up from child's pose, just see how your body's feeling today. Congratulate yourself on challenging that voice in your head that says either you have to do something or you can't do something, and listening instead to the wisdom of your heart. We're going to, before we close, take a couple stretches. So come into bound angle. Bring the soles of your feet together, toes to toes, knees out to the side. Wherever your knees are is fine. So they can be up near your shoulders. They can be flat on the ground. Mine are obviously not flat on the ground. Wherever they are is fine. What we're looking for is length in the spine. Hold your ankles with your hands and just hinge forward. You can use your arms, your elbows to press your knees down. So this isn't about touching your toes with your nose. It's just about getting some nice stretch there in the hips. If it would be really comfortable for you today, you can then round all the way forward. See how that feels different. It's going to stretch a different part of your hips. And come back up. And then move your feet out ahead of you a little bit. We'll come into Dimond Pose. So this takes, again, a different kind of stretch in your hips. So sit up straight on your sit bones. Your feet about a foot in front of you. It can be a little bit more if that's comfortable. You can play around with the distance. And then again, just hinge forward and see where that gets into on your hips. I always think this is a really nice pose because it gets into a part of my hips that I usually don't get to stretch. And again, if it feels good to be super long and straight here, try that for a couple breaths. And then try just rounding over and see what that feels like. It gets into your gluteus medius, which feels really nice to me. And then inhale, come up. You're going to bring your right leg on the bottom, knee facing forward. Then you're going to bring your left knee to stack on top of that. Doesn't have to be flat. If it's up here, that's totally fine. We just want to get a little bit of a hip stretch in here. This is called cow face pose because if you look down at it, I suppose, it looks a bit like a cow's head with the ears sticking out. And take your right hand up, reach it down your back, bend the elbow. And you can take your left hand and hold the elbow here. Or if you want to try bind, you can reach your left arm down and either take hold of a strap, take hold of your shirt, or clasp your hands together. And just take a deep breath here, getting into the belly. And let it go. And let the hands go. Let's take one inhale to the center. And exhale. Bring your right hand out behind you, your left hand to the left ankle, and just take a gentle twist. Make sure your shoulders are over your hips. You're looking back to the right, continuing the twist in your spine all the way to the top. And on your next inhale, come back to center. We'll take these on the other side. So cross your left leg under, right leg on top. That was my knee popping. See if you can stack the legs. If not, see where the legs are today. Take an inhale. And let it go. Bring your left arm up. Bring that left hand onto the back. The right hand can hold that there. Stretch your tricep there. We did a lot of work on our triceps today. Or you can reach around and take the hand from the other side. You can hold onto a strap. You can hold onto your shirt, whatever is accessible. Just keep your spine long. Don't sacrifice the length of your spine for reaching your hands into any specific position. And take a breath here. Let that go. Inhale your arms up. And exhale, take a twist to the left. Look back to the left. Use that left hand to keep your spine right over your hips, shoulders over your hips, the head continuing the twist. Nice and long, reaching up to the sky. And come back to center. We're going to take one more pose, a couple more poses, but very nice, gentle poses. We're going to balance out all that flexion we had in the hips by taking a bridge. So come down to your back gently. This is the first time we're getting onto our backs today. Have the hands by the hips, palms facing down. Hips, knees, and ankles should all be in a line. Take an exhale here. And on an inhale, float your hips up, press down into your feet. Feel all four corners of the feet pressing into the floor and working. If you'd like to take a heart opener here, chest expansion, you can roll onto the outsides of your shoulders, interlace your fingers, and use that to lift your hips up a little higher. You're going to keep your knees together right in line with your hips. And notice here that there are all kinds of different muscles working to keep you up. You have your back muscles working, especially your lower back. You can feel your glutes working. You can feel your thighs working hard. And see what it feels like to come into different parts of those muscle groups. So keep your hips where they are, but let your glutes go. And see how your back needs to compensate for that by getting really, really strong. And then bring your glutes back into the picture. And try to bring all of the effort. Let your back go if you can, and really bring the effort into your quads. See what that feels like. And bring your back, bring everything in together. Working hard. Inhale and lift up just a little higher. Feel the extension in your hips. And exhale, bring it back down to the ground. Bring your knees in, give yourself a little squeeze, a little hug. Take your index and middle fingers, your peace fingers, and wrap them around your big toe. And bring your knees out to the side, your heels up to the ceiling. This is called Happy Baby. And just rock gently from side to side. Massage out your back. This should feel really good after all the work you just did in bridge. You can bring them lower to the ground. You can stretch them out wide. Whatever feels good in your body today. Bring the knees back to center. Bring them up at a 90-degree angle. Take your hands out to the side. You can either have them in capital T or goalpost. And then just let the knees come slowly, using a little bit of oblique, down to the right and let them rest there. And look to the left. You can take hold of that left knee with your right hand if that feels good. Feel a twist in your spine. And take a couple deep belly breaths here. Really massaging your internal organs, giving them a bit of a hug. And inhale, come back through center. And bring your knees off to the left. Slowly, gently, set them down. And look to the right. You can bring the left hand to the right knee. Again, feel your spine twisting and take a couple deep belly breaths. Really giving your organs a hug there, some compression and a twist that they don't normally get. Exhaling all the way out. A nice little squeeze of your stomach muscles at the bottom. And inhale back to center. Anything else you need to do here before you come to Shavasana that would feel good for you? Maybe one more little squeeze. And let your legs go long. Arms out to the side. You can take your hair out. Take up space. Let your feet fall open. Make sure the palms of your hands are facing up. And just let the breath go here. Feel what your body is incorporating from our practice today. If it feels any different, notice if that narrative in your head has changed at all. Feel the earth supporting you. Relax your jaw. Relax the space between your eyes. We'll take a few minutes here to just incorporate all of the benefits of our practice today and let our bodies soak that up. If you have a thought that comes into your mind, just notice you've had a thought and come back to the present moment. And know that in these moments, you're safe, you're loved, and the world is a richer place for your presence in it. When you're ready, start to reawaken the fingers and the toes. Roll your wrists, roll your ankles, reawaken the body. Take an inhale, one long, full body stretch. And then roll to one side. And just take a minute here to appreciate yourself for taking the time to come to the mat today. To appreciate your body exactly as it is today, for all of the amazing things that it does for us every day and that it did for us today. Thank yourself for challenging that narrative in your head, for being a little bit brave when it told you that you couldn't, or for offering yourself some compassion and giving yourself a break when it told you you had to go further than you wanted. We're so hard on ourselves. So just thank yourself for your practice, for your work, for coming to the mat today, and for trying to listen, trying to give space for your heart to speak and not that voice in your head. When you're ready, press into the ground, come up into a seat. You can sit on a block, you can sit in a bolster, whatever's comfortable for you today. And let's close our practice with one cleansing breath. So breathe in to your low belly, to your mid belly, up to your clavicle. Pause at the top and let it out through your mouth. Thank you so much for coming to the mat today, for challenging yourself, for taking care of yourself, of your body and your mind through your practice of yoga today. I hope as you go forward, you can continue to challenge that voice in your head when it tells you that you have to do something or when it tells you that you can't do something. Be brave, be compassionate. Thank you so much. Namaste.